So for today's session, firstly I would let everyone join. Meanwhile, there is time. Students are joining. Pranay Ghosh, Vishal Agarwal. Okay, so can you hear me and see the screen, everyone? Is the screen clear and you can hear me? Sivank, good evening, dear. Good evening, Sivank. So yes, so everything is clear. You can see the screen and so nice. So we will start. Actually, for the study session, we were not able to complete whole of lymphoid tissue. Actually, I thought that I will cover up in the one session only. But today I would like to cover the histology of spleen. Actually, red pulp was remaining, and also I will cover up the histology of thymus gland and tonsil. These all slides are very important for your examination point of view. So I have seen the previous year papers of various entrance exam and also in the theory papers of MBBS course and various examination. Every where this lymphoid tissue histology is a very important part of question. So you should understand both for theory and both for your practical knowledge. Conceptual anatomy histology part 2 we will start. So before starting the session, I would like to give just a brief about the platform of Unacademy. Myself, Dr. Mona Lisa. So all the students who are new to the platform and they want to be good evening Pranay Ghosh, good evening Pranay. So yes, good evening Brij Mohan, good evening Harshita Sharma, Anushri, Sushila, Priyanka Rao, Kumar Tushar, Shaha Singh, Sujit. Yeah, good evening to everyone. Okay. So yes, unlock code for the platform is Enact 10. So you can use this code for unlocking free sessions on the Unacademy platform. So after the session, 6 p.m. session is absolutely dedicated for first year MBBS students because I want that they should study from the basics and you have to study like this कि आपका preparation यहीं पे हो जाए आपके theory exam के लिए और आपके practical exam के लिए. So this is the goal of this session. If anybody asks me what is the objective of the session is to complete your course here itself. Time never combines. Okay, Kumar, Sujit, good evening here. So what is that? That time will not return. So what I want, everyone should utilize the time here itself. This 1 hour, 10 minutes session I will take and everyone do be attentive for this session. This is just a matter of 1 hour, 10 minutes and you should complete this topic for your theory exam and for your practical exam here itself. So let's crack it. Okay, so let's crack FMG session is 9 p.m. session, which I am taking. And for YouTube session, 7:30 p.m. session, I'm taking MCQ session today also. The unlock code is ANAT10 and also referral code is ANAT10, which can be utilized by those students who want to take the subscription of Unacademy. Okay, now let's crack NEET PG 2021 session. So today is 9th session. Okay, so if I talk about today's session, it is the 9th session. So I have enlisted whole schedule and this is also on my Telegram group. So students can follow me for the updates of my upcoming sessions, both special and the plus sessions. And this is today will be the session. Today will be the 9th session of FMG session also. This will be 9 p.m. session. And today is histology, 6 p.m. session. Now, the iconic subscription can be utilized by the students in which merging of PrepLadder and Unacademy platform has been done. This is the referral code which can be utilized by you all for taking the subscription for 10% discount and boost your NEET PG preparation. All of the students just boost your NEET PG preparation by taking 3 months of subscription and 1 month of subscription absolutely free. Absolutely free. Okay. Also, I would like to tell you about the referral code that is ANAT10 and this can be utilized by the students and other than the other referral code that can be utilized so that we can make proper notes. Okay. Siddiqui. Okay. So don't worry, Siddiqui. From tomorrow, I'm starting with the session of lower limb. Okay, so that is gross anatomy. So I will write along with you. Don't worry, we will write the notes. So don't worry, I will give you enough time. So for the histology part, I have written already in the PPT many important points PDF. So that was histology session. So actually that also takes so much of time. Don't worry, I will write along with you. So okay, you want the previous one? जैसे मैं previously पढ़ाती थी. Okay. So write along with you. So okay, Siddiqui, I will do like that. So all of you want me to write So all of you want gross anatomy sessions. So I write the notes along with you. Please give me a thumbs up if you want that. Okay, Siddiqui is telling that. Okay, so I am talking about other students' point of view also. So this is like a histology session. So I have written the basic facts, but for gross anatomy, if you want like this, we can do like this. Okay, so Hirshi is also taking like that. Okay, so that is okay. So also target next batch is coming up. You can use this code for taking the subscription. Image based session revision batch for targeting the MCQ sessions for entrance exam. This will be very useful because all 19 subject will be covered, and you can be the part of this session by using the referral code NAT10. 34,000 MCQs is there on the platform. So just crack that MCQs, have a look of that MCQs. That will sure shot increase your ranking, and it will be very helpful for you to crack your entrance examination. Download the app, download the Unacademy app, and thereafter find your goal, that is NEET PG, and thereafter you can take use the referral code NAT10 and be the part of any kind of subscription whichever suits you. Okay, Hari Prasad, Ujwal Sarma, welcome to the session. Yes, Shweta, Sneha, good evening, Sneha. So today also lymphoid tissue. From tomorrow, I am starting from the basic gross anatomy of lower limb. So as told by the student, want me to write the notes. So yes, I will write the notes along with you because they want me to write along with them, as told by few students. Deepak Saran, good evening, dear. Good evening, Deepak Saran. So already we have completed white pulp. Okay. In the previous session, we have already covered up the white pulp. हमने white pulp पहले ही cover up कर लिया है. Okay. So just to revise, what was the features which was seen in the white pulp? So this is what? Can anybody tell me what is this? What is this? This white color arrow structure. This is from previous session. What is this? This is the white pulp of spleen. Can anybody tell me? So yes, Hirshi is telling CA, central artery, ECC artery. Okay, eccentric location artery. Yes, absolutely right. It's the central artery which is eccentric in position. Absolutely right. It is the central artery which is eccentric in position. So yes, eccentric artery, eccentric in position. And this is the red pulp. And what is the full form of pulse? Can anybody tell me? These are from previous session. What is the full form of pulse? Anybody remembers what is the full form of pulse? PALS. Try. This is also from the previous session. This is from what is the full form of pulse? Should I write? Okay, I got an answer from Dev. I got an answer from Sivank. I got an answer from Rao. Yes, absolutely right. It is called as periarterial lymphatic sheath. Yes, it is called as periarterial lymphatic sheath. Absolutely right, which is surrounding the central artery. Absolutely right. So again, you can see this diagram of the spleen histology. Very nicely, you can appreciate the red pulp, and this is the white pulp. Now, in white pulp, what lies? White pulp mein lymphatic aggregation. Good evening, Shiny Mandal. White pulp is the aggregation of lymphocyte, and here nicely you can see the central artery is located. This is the location of central artery. So you can see the central artery very nicely. This is the outer fibrous capsule, and in between lies the red pulp. Okay, so this was just a revision of previous session. Pulse. Okay, what is asked is the full form of pulse. Why the location of central artery is eccentric position. Mucosa associated lymphatic tissue. So these okay, Anmol Arora, mucosa associated lymphatic tissue. So we have discussed this. This was all diffuse and discrete kind of lymphatic session. So you can just malt and all we have discussed in the previous session. Okay, Arvind Arora. Yes. So actually half of the session is already covered in previous session. So before jumping into today's session, I was just revising the point. Okay. So periarterial lymphatic sheath has been shown. Central artery has been shown. Today's session is about red pulp. Okay. Red pulp. Today's session is about red pulp. Now, what is important in the red pulp is, so basically, firstly, I will make you understand and then you can write the notes also. Red pulp is containing capillaries. Why it appears when we freshly cut the tissue or the organ, that is spleen. So we can appreciate the red pulp is looking very reddish in nature because it is full of capillaries. Which kind of capillaries? It is discontinuous capillaries, which is having gap not only in the sinusites. Absolutely right, Sivan. That is not only having gap in the epithelium but also having gap in the basement membrane. So this kind of permeable, highly permeable membrane kind of capillary is called as sinusites. So red pulp, the basic feature which we found is the capillaries, that is called as splenic sinusites. The other structures which is located is plasma cells and macrophages. Okay, so see here, this is the location of red pulp. These are all red pulp which will be appearing red when freshly cut. So see here, red pulp is modified lymphoid tissue heavily infiltrated by the cells of circulating blood, giving dark color to the tissue when it is freshly cut. Okay, now why it appears spongy? Because of the presence of reticular fibers. Reticular fibers are supporting network for the splenic tissues. Splenic venous sinuses are lying there. This we have already discussed. Yes, splenic venous sinuses are there. Now, I would like to show you the diagram of Billroth. This was the question which was asked in the entrance exam of NEET PG, also FMG, and also INICT. So entrance exam of AIMS. So, okay. So we will study for the first year MBBS, and wherever there is certain points which is very important for Viva question, जो आपके Viva examination में पूछा जाएगा, जो आपके MCQs के लिए important है, वहां पे मैं target करूंगी वो point को. Now, splenic cord of a Billroth is a common question which is asked in Viva examination. So let me explain you that. Okay, splenic cord of Billroth. So I will firstly explain you and then I will show you the literature part. It is okay? So this is the diagram which is showing splenic cord of Billroth. It is showing which diagram? Splenic cord of Billroth. Now this is a schematic diagram just to make you understand. Okay. Now my dear friends, if you will see this diagram, this is a diagram. In this, what is this structure? This structure is like a splenic. This structure is capillary. Which type of capillary is this? This is which type of capillary? This is which type of capillary? This is discontinuous fenestrated capillaries which is highly permeable and it is called as sinusites. Example, here is the splenic sinusoid. So this is an example of sinusites. Now what happens when we will see ultra electron microscopy, or we can go for schematic diagrams and we can go for very scanning microscopy, then very nicely we can appreciate splenic cord of Billroth. So in your Viva examination, or you can't appreciate it, but you have MCQs regarding this point, you have theory questions regarding this point. Okay, you have Viva question regarding this point. So what you will see, this splenic venous sinus is having reticular fibers crossing it. Can you see these fibers? Many fibers are crossing this. So these fibers are which fibers? These are supporting network and these fibers are called as reticular fibers. So if you will see this shape, so you will see, absolutely right, Sivang. Now tell me, if you see this space, this shape of structure, can anybody tell me it looks like what? If we will see this structure, this whole structure, this spindle, yes. So one of the student is telling spindle. Yes, this is, yes, you are close to it. So it is looking like a spindle, and a better term I will tell, barrel shape. This is barrel shape. So what is barrel? Anybody knows? Wooden caskets. What is the use of this barrel or wooden casket? Do you know this? Barrel और wooden casket में हम क्या करते हैं? Ferment करते हैं. क्या ferment करते हैं? हम wine ferment करते हैं, हम beer ferment करते हैं. Okay, so actually, if you will see, it was in the Roche and histology book. In the histology book of the foreign writers, they have compared. In the histology book of foreign writers like Witters, we have got Witters' book, we have got Ross books. There they have compared the diagram. They have compared the diagram of splenic cord of Billroth, which is having splenic venous sinus covered by reticular fibers, the appearance of spindle, you can say it is an appearance of barrel or wooden casket, and this appearance is called as splenic cord of Billroth. Splenic cord of Billroth is present in which of the following tissues or organ? Liver, spleen, duodenum, esophagus. What is the answer? Splenic cord of Billroth is characteristic feature found in spleen. So this was the MCQ which has been asked in previous year. So यानी आप लोग ने entrance exam के MCQs भी solve किया. Very nice. Okay. So everyone understood this point? Everyone? Okay. Now we will move on to the literature part. Okay. So yes, now red pulp is modified lymphoid tissue heavily infiltrated by circulating blood. So when we freshly cut the spleen, it appears red. ये कैसा appear होता है? Red color का appear होता है. Why red color? Because there is enough blood residing there. Why it is appearing red? Because there is enough blood residing there. So when we fresh, I'm not talking about the about those who spleen which has been preserved in formalin. Always when we go for examination, we give the students spleen in their hand and we go for gross viva. ओके सब हम ग्रॉस वाइवा लेते हैं तो उस समय अगर आप स्प्लीन को कट करेंगे तो रेड अपीयरेंस नहीं होगा, लेकिन अगर हमें फ्रेशली अगर एक बॉडी मिली है जहां पे डेथ फ्यू टाइम्स बिफोर ही हुआ है, फ्यू आवर्स और समथिंग, सो यू टेक आउट द स्प्लीन एंड व्हेन यू कट एंड सी देन इट विल अपीयर रेड एंड दैट अपीयरेंस मेक इट कॉल्ड एज रेड पल्प. What is lying there? The spongy network of reticular fibers is called as splenic cord of Billroth and there is splenic venous sinuses. So all these features which has been written here is the features of red pulp. Is the features of red pulp. So all of you are understanding? Give me a thumbs up if you are understanding. Okay, okay, great. Okay, so please write down this point. Please write down this point. And as demanded by the students, from tomorrow I will also write the notes along with you. Okay, don't worry, so that you can complete your notes in this time only. Don't worry. Okay, that will be kept in the mind. So now moving on to the next, red pulp is a modified lymphoid tissue and it is heavily infiltrated by blood, so it is called as freshly cut and it is reticular fibers and splenic venous and the same thing. Got it? Now let's move to the next slide. Now, my dear friends, this is a question who wants splenic theories of circulation. So actually स्प्लीन के अंदर क्या होता है? ब्लड पास करता है, ब्लड सर्कुलेट करता है. सो दैट सर्कुलेशन ऑफ ब्लड हैज टू बी ट्रांसफर्ड फ्रॉम कैपिलरीज, आर्टरीज टू द वेनस एंड. ओके, आर्टरीज और वेनस में क्या ब्लड का मिक्सिंग होना है. ओके, दैट वुड हैपन. सो देयर इज टू रूट्स in which this mixing of blood or transportation of blood can occur. So this is a question which is asked in Viva examination and those students who are going to give the answer correct, they are definitely going to achieve distinction mark. Okay, जिसको distinction चाहिए, कितने को चाहिए? Above 75% first year MBBS में anatomy चाहिए. So you have to know this point, that is the theories of splenic circulation. Okay, so last year many of the students, which I have taken revision session for first year MBBS students for 3 months, I think 2-3 months before the examination, and I was very happy. Few of the students has got honors in anatomy, so more than 75%. So I wish this time also I get some of the students like that. Okay, so yes, all the best for that. Now there is two theories, one is closed circulation theory and other is open circulation theory. So what is the difference? I will tell you. Blood passes directly from arterial capillaries into splenic venous sinuses. What I told you, mixing of blood occurs in the arterial end and venous end. So if this mixing of blood or transportation of blood occurs directly from arterial end to venous end, this kind of blood circulation in the spleen is called as closed circulation. That is, blood enters into the red pulp vein, join the trabeculae and reaches the trabecular vein. Trabecular vein will join to form splenic vein and will emerge out to the hilum of the spleen. Very easy concept. Blood is flowing from the arteries of the spleen, that is trabecular arteries, central arteries, peninsular arteries. Okay, इफ यू रिमेंबर प्रीवियस क्लास मैंने बोला था ट्रैबिकुलर आर्टरी एंटर होता है, फिर उसका नाम चेंज होकर सेंट्रल आर्टरी हो जाता है. सेंट्रल आर्टरी विल चेंज इट्स नेम एंड फॉर्म पेनिसिलर आर्टरी, मींस दे विल गो मेटा डिविजन is occurring. This blood from the arterial end, if goes directly into the venous end, this mixing of blood and circulation of blood is called as closed circulation theory. This is called as closed circulation theories. Okay. Now, what is the open circulation theory? Here, the blood will pass from arterial capillaries or of penicilli. Penicilli means penicillar artery. If you remember today's session, arteries was called as smaller lumen arteries was called as penicillar arteries. From here, blood will enter the cords of Billroth. Now you have seen cords of Billroth में blood enter करता है, and from here the bloods will be engulfed. In this process, what happens? The blood will pass in the cords of Billroth, and from here it will pass into the venous end of the splenic venous end. But in this process, what happens? Wear out जो एरेथ्रोसाइट्स और आरबीसीज हैं, जो worn out हो गए हैं, जो ओल्ड हो गए हैं, वो इनगल्फ हो जाते हैं माइक्रोफेजेस से, क्योंकि स्प्लिनिक कॉर्ड ऑफ बिलरॉथ के पेरिफेरी में और उस एरिया में मैक्रोफेजेस भी होते हैं. इन रेड पल्प वी हैव गॉट मैक्रोफेजेस रिसाइडिंग देयर, सो द ब्लड विल गो फ्रॉम द आर्टीरियल एंड टू द वेनस एंड पासिंग वाया ए टनल. इन अदर टर्म्स आप कैसे बोल सकते हो, जैसे कि पुणे से मुंबई, ओके, पुणे से मुंबई, गोवा, व्हेन यू ट्रैवल और यू गो, यू इन दैट रूट यू गेट टनल. ओके, ऑन द जब आप जाते हैं, किसी छुट्टी पे जाते हैं, यू गो फॉर एन वेकेशन, उस वेकेशन में आपको ऑन द वे बहुत सारे टनल्स मिलते हैं. सो सेम वे हियर ब्लड इज नॉट डायरेक्टली पासिंग, द ब्लड इज पासिंग इन ए टनल. कौन सा टनल है वो? व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ दैट टनल? स्प्लिनिक कॉर्ड ऑफ बिलरॉथ. उस टनल में क्या बैठा हुआ है? Macrophages is residing there. What is the role of macrophages? Engulfing the old RBCs. So these kind of circulation is called as open circulation theory. Got it? Dr. Baby English ma'am. Okay, yeah, few students English, few students wants Hindi. Okay, so once more I will tell you. For example, if you want to understand splenic open circulation, the arterial end, the blood lies, okay? Blood is residing in arterial end, and in case of open circulation, blood will not enter into the splenic veins directly. It will pass via a route. What is the route? In which route it will pass? It will pass in a route, and that route is called as splenic cord of Billroth. It is behaving like a tunnel. Okay, splenic cord of Billroth. What is residing in splenic cord of Billroth? Macrophages. What is the role of macrophages? Engulfing the, what is the role of macrophages? Engulfing the worn out RBCs. So this kind of theory is called as open circulation theory. So for your examination, everyone understood this concept of open splenic circulation and closed splenic circulation. Got it? Okay. Great. So now we will move on to, so is it okay, Dr. Baby? Dr. Baby, have you understood, Dr. Baby? Okay, good. So yes, Dr. Baby. Yeah, it's baby only. So see here you can see this is the trabecular artery. Now I would show the same thing in this diagram. Trabecular arteries are there. Then here you got the artery, central artery. Here this artery is going into the region of, it is not directly going into the venous. It is not directly going into the venous end, but it will firstly reside in the space. This space will be splenic cord of Billroth. So this is called as open circulation. When we are talking about closed circulation, you can see here direct communication occurs. Direct communication occurs between the peninsular arteries and that of this venous end. So that is called as closed circulation. So all of you, it is often asked in examination with the students who are giving good viva or examination. Dr. Baby, red pulp, white pulp is confusing. So Dr. Baby is having confusion. All others, have you understood red pulp and white pulp? Okay, other students, have you understood? Everyone? Yes. So, okay, baby. So yes, many students have understood. So let me explain. I think you were not present in the previous session. Dr. Baby, today's session you were absent, I think. Okay. Okay, no, yes, you were absent. So in brief, I will tell you, because, okay, just in 2 lines, I will explain. White pulp, today, okay, today only you have joined. So just please, students, I will explain baby in just 2 minutes, and then we will move on to the next slide. Okay. So what happens in white pulp? There is lymphocyte. White pulp में क्या होता है? Lymphocytes होते हैं. See this diagram. Okay, yeah. So this is, ma'am, sure, please explain. Okay. So yes, spleen. So students are asking, so was. So this is histological slide of spleen. So in case of histological slide of spleen, spleen is a lymphoid organ. Okay, I will start from the basics. Spleen is a lymphoid organ. Spleen is a lymphoid organ. So it is having reticular fibers as supporting network. So whichever lymphoid structures are there, it is having a connective tissue framework, and it is having parenchyma. Okay, so spleen will also have the parenchyma and connective tissue network. So here, my dear friends, connective tissue network, which is forming supportive network, which is giving structural support to spleen, is given by which tissue? What is the answer? It is given by which tissue? Reticular fibers. Ujjwal Sarma, absolutely right. Yes, Ujjwal, absolutely right. It is the reticular fibers which is providing structural support or connective tissue framework to the spleen. Now, when you will see the spleen freshly cut, what you can appreciate, it is having white pulp and it is having red pulp. Now, how to differentiate between white pulp and red pulp? Now, this is a diagram taken from D. Furey's anatomy book. So this area which I am highlighting, so let me use red color for it. This area. Okay, everyone, can you see slightly blue? Is this area? What is these areas? These are the areas of white pulp. What is these areas? These are the areas of white pulp. What is these areas? These are the areas of white pulp. Okay. Now, yeah, Sivank, absolutely right. And the area other than white pulp, this area is called as red pulp. This area is called as red pulp. When I am talking about white pulp, it means it is containing lymphocytes. When I am talking about white pulp, means it contains lymphocytes. Now, when you will see here, for example, I am showing you this. So all of you just concentrate on this. Okay, this one. So here, if you will see in the center, okay, so here when you will see the structures which is lying in the center, okay, here which I am highlighting with blue color, can you see here? This is lighter stain because it is having germinal center. It is lighter stain. This white pulp is having lymphocytes. Whole white pulp here is having lymphocyte. In this lymphocyte also, if you will see, the center is lighter stain because it is called as germinal center. Lighter stain structure ko, Sivank, absolutely right. Yes, because it is containing immature lymphocyte. And the characteristic feature, in the examination, you have to write the characteristic feature to identify the slide or spleen. In that case, you can write that in the white pulp, can you see this red structure? All of you, you can see this red structure residing here. This structure is central artery. Okay, the location of central artery is towards the periphery. It is towards the periphery. So this location is called as eccentric. This location is called as eccentric. Actually, central artery is a branch of trabecular artery. The outer covering of spleen is called as FC, fibrous capsule. And from this fibrous capsule, trabeculase goes inside, and this trabeculae, trabecular artery resides inside. Trabecular artery will form central artery, and this central artery is covered by lymphocyte aggregation. It is covered by lymphocyte aggregation that will push the central artery to the periphery. That is called eccentric position. Means white pulp is containing lymphocyte. Okay, so it will not appear. If you will see the white pulp and the red pulp, white pulp will be slightly bluish in color with a center which is lighter in stain, and this whole structure which is appearing slight pinkish in color, this whole area is of the red pulp, which is containing blood, that is sinusoids and macrophages. So these are all red pulp. These are all areas of red pulp. Okay, so everyone, have you understood? Can we move to next topic of today's session? Give me a thumbs up if you have understood. Dr. Baby. Okay, Dr. Baby? Yes. So now I am coming to the topic of today's, that is the learning objective of this session is to understand general features of thymus gland. Okay. It is to understand the general features of thymus gland. It is to understand the histology of thymus gland. It is to understand the characteristic feature of thymus gland. It is to understand the palatine tonsil. It is to understand the Waldeus ring. It is to understand the palatine tonsil histology. So, my dear friends, I want all of you should understand these topics from this session. Okay, so these are the enlisted topics which is very important and you have to understand this. Okay, so let's move with our objective. Now, before starting the topic, actually, thymus slight introduction I want to give, that what is thymus gland. Okay, when thymus gland, the area between two lungs, the area which is lying between the two side lung, right and the left lung, is called as mediastinum, and thymus gland is lying in the superior anterior part of the mediastinum. Okay, thymus gland, and it is bilobed structure. Two lobes are there. Thymus gland is primary lymphoid organ, and one of the most important point is it is containing only T lymphocyte. It is containing only one category of lymphocyte. What is the name? It contains T lymphocyte. T cells are is important for immune system, especially to protect us from any kind of foreign invasion, from microorganisms or any pathogen which is attacking our body. We want immunity. This is given by the T cells. Thymus gland is lying, same here. It is lying in which part of mediastinum? Antero-superior part of mediastinum. Okay, what is mediastinum? In the case of thorax, you must be knowing the area which is lying between right and the left lung. That area is called as mediastinum. So it lies in the mediastinum. When you will see thymus gland and you will cut the thymus gland, it will have a central medulla. It will have a central medulla and it will have a peripheral cortex. Okay. Thymus gland is also surrounded by an outer fibrous capsule, and same thing as the other lymphoid structures we have studied. Thymus gland will also have an outer cortex area and inner medulla area. Inner medulla area. Okay. Now here, my dear friends, I have shown you this thymus gland. This is the thymus gland, and here you can see, yes, it is a bilobed structure. It is a bilobed structure residing in, can you see, this is right lung, this is left lung. So exactly between right and the left lung it is located. It is located in the, thank you Shivani Mandal, thank you. And exact the location is antero. It is lying in the antero-superior mediastinum. It lies in the antero-superior mediastinum. It is lying in the antero-superior mediastinum, thymus gland. Now, same thymus, when you will see freshly, it is bilobed and pinkish gray in color. Approximate dimension is 4 to 6 centimeters, 2.5 centimeters or 5 centimeter width and 1 centimeter thick. So what I have written is the dimension of thymus gland. It is the dimension. What is the weight? 40 to 50 gram. The weight is 40 to 50 gram. Now, one more thing is important. As the age advances, the degeneration of thymus gland happens and its weight and its dimension will reduce. Okay. So as the age advances, as we grow older and older, the size of thymus gland decreases and it gets degenerated. Okay. It gets degenerated. Thank you, Dr. Baby. Thank you, Dr. Baby. Okay, so decreases in the, so one of the term which is used, involution. Involution means decrease in size. Okay, now it is having dual origin. Actually, this is the embryology part. This is the embryological aspect. Okay, yeah. Actually, it has been seen like more of immunity. That is the reason also immunity is slightly more in case of children's and all as we get older. So it is a degenerative process. Okay. Ujjwal Sharma, it's like a degenerative process which is going on with the age, and thymus gland is also slightly degenerative as the age advances. Okay. Yeah. Now, one more, this is very important for your MCQ and for your Viva examination, that what is the origin of thymus gland. So origin of thymus gland is that it is having lymphocytes. So lymphocytes are originating from mesoderm. Okay, if we talk about lymphocyte origin, it is from mesoderm, and the cells which is lying in thymus gland is reticular cells. So one point I just want to clear you, that thymus gland is not having reticular fibers as a supporting network. Okay, please note down this point, it's very important. This has been asked in previous year AIMS examination and entrance examination, NEET PG and all, and it is very important for your next examination and for your viva also. All the lymphoid structures, so lymphoid structures are which? Lymphoid structure is spleen, lymph node, tonsil, and thymus. Okay, all these structures is having reticular fibers as a supporting network. In case of bone marrow also, it is having reticular fibers. Sivank has given absolutely right answer, but in case of thymus gland, the supporting network is given by epithelio-reticular cells. The supporting framework and protection and structural support is given by reticular cells. The proper name is epithelio-reticular cells, not reticular fibers. Is it clear to everyone? In case of all lymphoid organ, the supporting network is given by reticular fibers. But if we take the case of thymus gland, it is not having support or connective tissue framework formed from reticular fibers, but it is formed from reticular cells. The proper name is epithelio-reticular cells. Okay, here it is written epithelio-reticular cells. What is it? It is called as epithelio-reticular cells, and epithelio-reticular cells is arising from endodermal pouch. It is arising from endodermal pouch. It is a supporting network which is found in the thymus gland. Okay, Dr. Baby, epithelio-reticular cells are supporting framework or network which is found in the case of thymus gland, which is forming the stroma component of thymus gland. Okay. Yes, from the third pharyngeal pouch. The epithelio-reticular cells is originating from third pharyngeal pouch. Ujjwal Sarma, absolutely right. It is from third pharyngeal pouch. If you want to know exactly the name, that is third pharyngeal pouch. It is having only efferent vessels. It is having only efferent vessels. Ventral? I didn't get you, Dr. Bobby. It's ventral pouch. Third pharyngeal pouch, third one. Epithelio-reticular cells arises from third pharyngeal pouch. Third pharyngeal pouch, okay? Now see this cut section. This is a schematic diagram to make you understand how the thymus gland looks if you dissect it out or cut. So you can see this is a bilobe structure, and here this is the outer capsule which is shown here, and inside you can see this is the outer part is called cortex and inner part is called as the medulla. Inner part is called as the medulla. Supporting network is formed by epithelio-reticular cells. Okay, the supportive network or the support system which is provided to the thymus gland is provided by epithelio-reticular cells. Epithelio-reticular cells. The lobules of parenchyma is having cortex and medulla, and it is also having Hazel corpuscles. If we talk about lobules and parenchyma, if we talk about the parenchyma of thymus gland, it is having cortex, medulla, and Hazel corpuscles. It is having cortex, medulla, and that of Hazel's corpuscles. It's a primary lymphoid structure, and actually it is primarily producing T lymphocyte, which is then at time getting modified and destined for the cell mediated immunity. Okay, it is not, it's a primary structure. Okay, it's a very important structure. It is primarily responsible for it. Okay, it's a primary lymphoid structure. It's a primary lymphoid structure. That is the reason, Sivank. Now, capsule and interlobular septae. I'm coming to Hazel corpuscles. Don't worry, I'm coming to Hazel corpuscles. That is, Hazel corpuscles is found in the medulla part. That is the characteristic part of identifying the slide of thymus. Yes. So I'm coming to Hazel corpus cells. Let me finish the capsule and the cortex part. Then I will come to the medulla part. Okay. Is it okay, Ujjwal? Okay. I will come to it. Is a halonized mass. Okay, pink color. Thin capsule is formed by thin connective tissue which is covering. If we talk about fibrous capsule of thymus gland, the whole of the thymus gland is covered by thin connective tissue covering, which is called as the capsule. Capsule is sending septase inside and dividing. This capsule is dividing the interior of the thymus gland into lobules. Capsule is dividing interior of the thymus gland into lobules. The capsule is dividing interior of the thymus gland into lobules. Each lobule has dark stained cortex at the periphery and lighter stained medulla. If you want to differentiate the parts of thymus gland, which is the cortex, cortex will lie on the outer aspect, which will be darker stained in comparison to lighter stained medulla. One more thing is important. Actually, the thymus gland, when you will see the whole of the panoramic view of thymus gland, means whole of the thymus gland, what you can appreciate that inside thymus gland, the one medulla is forming communication with the other medulla. One side medulla is forming communication with the other medulla because the trabecules are incomplete inside the thymus gland. If you will see trabecules, which is incomplete inside the thymus, not complete, it's not complete. Okay, now let me show this diagram. So this is a diagram of the thymus gland where you can appreciate outermost covering is capsule, trabecules. So as I told you, trabecules are incomplete and you can clearly see this is darker stain. Okay, can you see this part in the thymus gland? This is darker stain. This darker stain structure is called as cortex and the inside is medulla. The inside part, which is lighter stain, is the medulla, and the characteristic feature of identification is this pink homogeneous mass. Can you see here pinkish homogeneous mass which is lying into the medulla, and this pinkish homogeneous mass is Hazel corpus cells. Is Hazel's corpus cells. It is called as Hazel corpus cells. So yes, this will be medulla, lighter stained medulla, and outer part is called as cortex, and the histological feature to identify is the presence of Hazel corpus cells. Where is Hazel corpus residing? It is lying in the medulla. It is lying in the medulla part of thymus gland. Okay, now cytoplasmic reticulum and epithelio-reticular cells. Okay, so one of the student has asked me also, Dr. Bobby, I think, Dr. Sivank, yes, I'm coming to this. Actually, at the exact function of Hazel corpus cells is not known. Okay, so many research is going on, Sivank, and exact function is not known. It is a structure which is found more of a degenerating structure, which is found more in number in case of elderly person. But at in the books and in the all standard books, they are writing that exact function is not known, but it is a involuting mass which is found. Okay, it's a involuting mass which is found in the medulla. Okay, it's a involuting mass which is found in the medulla. Okay, so let's me complete that. Firstly, let me complete the cellular cytoplasm. Then again we will have, I will show you the structure. It is pinkish hyalinized mass which is having epithelial cells in it. Okay, I will show you that structure, don't worry. So as I told you, epithelio-reticular cells is forming supporting stroma for the organs. So here epithelio-reticular cells is forming supporting network. This was asked by Dr. Bobby, and I have told that here in case of thymus gland, it is required for supporting network. It is giving cellular cytoplasmic reticulum support to the thymic lobule. It can be identified by large pale staining oval nuclei. But actually eosinophilic cytoplasm and pale, this can be recognized if you go for high power view. So to exactly see the nuclei of reticular cells and all, we have to go for high power view. In low power view, it's difficult to recognize this. Cytoplasm is having secretory granules and it is secreting thymosin and thymopoietin. So what does these cells secrete? What does the cytoplasm of the reticular cell granule secrete? It secretes thymosin and thymopoietin. So thymosin. So I think actually thymosin and thymopoietin, which is actually a kind of polypeptide and protein which is secreted by the thymus gland, and they act as a biological response modifiers. Okay. For example, actually the role of thymosin and thymopoietin is very much required for cell mediated immunity, and they are very much required as a nuclear. They are required for building the nuclear architecture. Okay. So let me see whether, okay. So here can I write the function of thymosin and thymopoietin? So two of these structures are secreted by reticular cells of thymus gland. Okay. And these structures are acting as biological response modifier. Biological response modifier. So you must be doubting what does this mean. For example, I will explain you in the form of example. For example, hair growth. If we want hair growth, so these can act as a biological responsor. They can be active in case of wound healing. They can be active in the case of formation of blood vessels. Okay, so they are very important structures which is required for immunity. And if we want, for example, hair growth, okay, new hair formed, for example, wound healing, for example, blood vessel formation, angiogenesis. So these kind of things can be done, and they are very important for immune response and immune function. Actually, when you will go into the second year, then you will study these structures in more detail. Actually, they are a member of protein. They secrete CD90. CD90, which is required. So thymopoietin is secreting CD90, which is required for nuclear architecture, which is forming nuclear architecture. It is required for the formation of nuclear architecture. Got it? So this much detail will be not asked from you as a first year students, but they will ask. So you if in the viva or if any teacher wants to give you more numbers, so they can ask you thymosin and thymopoietin ka role. तो आपको क्या बोलना है? You have to tell it is biological response modifier required for new biological response, like for example of hair growth, formation of blood vessels, angiogenesis, wound healing. And thymopoietin is secreting CD90, which is required for nuclear architecture formation. Got it? Now, my dear friends, this is high power view, and the structure which you can see here, these are thymocytes. So when you see the slide under the microscope in your session in your first year MBBS, the slide which you see in your examination, you are not able to exactly see the thymocyte. That will be possible if a very good quality of microscope or high power view is used. But in between lies the reticular cells, and these reticular cells is forming supporting network. These reticular cells which you are seeing here is forming supporting networks. These reticular cells are forming supporting networks. Got it? So can we change? Can I move to next slide? All of you, are you understanding? Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. Now, so in the cortex, we have got the cortex is darker stain, lighter stain is medulla. Thymocytes are lying, and also epithelio-reticulocytes. So, it is when it is asked in the viva, what is the cortex of thymus gland containing? The answer is thymocytes, macrophages, and epithelio-reticular cell. Medulla is lighter stain, and in the medulla we have got Hazel corpuscles. Outer cortex has got large number of lymphocytes, which divides into by the process of mitosis to produce smaller lymphocytes. So mainly lymphocytic aggregation is lying in the cortex of thymus gland. Lymphocytes aggregation is found in the cortex of thymocytes. Okay. Now, same thing here, we can see the fibrous capsule. These are the cortex, which is stuffed with many lymphocytes. So these structures, darker stained structures on the outer aspect, is stuffed by many lymphocytes, and all the lymphocyte will be all which variety? T lymphocytes. Which variety? T lymphocytes. Only T lymphocytes. Now, next point, which is very important for your viva and very important for your MCQ session, is blood thymic barrier. What do you mean by blood thymic barrier? Very important question for your examination point of view. What is blood thymic barrier? So actually, what do you mean by the word barrier? Barrier का मतलब boundary. Okay. So actually, in case of thymus gland, the epithelio-reticular cells is forming blood thymic barrier so that immature T lymphocytes, which is growing, immature T lymphocyte is growing inside the inside the thymus gland. So blood antigen should not attack them. They should not attack them. So blood thymic barrier regulate exchange of substance between the system and thymus gland, and this is required for immunity to develop. Barrier. What is the role of blood thymic barrier? It prevents the immature T lymphocyte for contacting the foreign materials, for example, antigens, and they will not die with the process of apoptosis. Okay, so if it is asked what is the role of blood thymic barrier, so blood thymic barrier is preventing the antigens of the blood or the foreign structures to react or act on the developing T lymphocytes so that interaction is not possible. Okay, so and the T cells which is maturing is not dying by the process of apoptosis. The barrier is formed by blood capillaries of thymic cortex, also by epithelio-reticular cells and macrophages. So what are the structures which is forming blood thymic barrier? The structures which is forming blood thymic barrier is epithelio-reticular cells. Okay, epithelio-reticular cells, epithelial cells, okay, blood capillaries ka endothelium, epithelio-reticular cells and macrophages. This is asked in the Viva. Which structure forms blood thymic barrier? What will be the answer? Capillary, endothelium, epithelio-reticular cells and macrophages. Function. So everyone, have you understood function and barrier formation? I will give you a diagram, show you a diagram where you will more understand about blood thymic barrier. So see here, the function of blood thymic barrier, you can write this also. It is preventing the circulating antigen to act on immature lymphocytes. So interaction between, the function is that blood thymic barrier is preventing interaction of the antigen acting on the developing T lymphocyte, which is immature. So this is the function. The structure forming blood thymic barrier is endothelium, basement membrane of the endothelium, perivascular connective tissue, basement membrane of epithelio-reticular cells and epithelio-reticular cells. So this is very, very important. 5 layers. All of you, though, write down the name of these 5 layers. These 5 layers has been shown here, as you can see here, blood thymic barrier, capillary wall, perivascular connective tissue, epithelio-reticular cells, basement and epithelio-reticular cells. All these together form blood thymic barrier. All of you, please note down this 5 layers which has been written forming the blood thymic barrier. Everyone, please complete this. This is very important. The structures which is forming blood thymic barrier. Endothelium. So as we are moving from inside to outside, it is endothelium, basement membrane of endothelium, perivascular connective tissue, basement membrane of epithelio-reticular cells and that of epithelio-reticular cells. Write on this. Written everyone, blood thymic barrier. Can I change the slide? Next slide. Okay, I think students are writing. So yes, please complete this. Then just give me a thumbs up after completing so that I can change the slide. Okay, completed. Yeah. So okay, few students have completed. Few must be writing. Okay. Okay, very good. So I think finished. Everyone has written blood thymic barrier. I want to change the slide. Okay. Okay. Now coming to the medulla, many of the students medulla, they were asking about the medulla because they want to study more of Hazel carpal cells. Okay, medulla is lighter stain. So this is a diagram of thymus. This is the histological slide of thymus gland, where you can see this is outer fibrous capsule. This area is the cortex, and the inside lighter stain, this structure is the medulla, and inside the medulla I am highlighting with red color this pinkish structure which you are seeing. What is this? This pink structure is Hazel's corpus cyst. Yes, Sivang. The most characteristic feature. So there are certain identifying features when you see the slide under the microscope. So you go for the identification of that slide, and you can identify the slide when you see the characteristic feature which is particular to that slide. So if you want to identify the slide of thymus, you have to look for Hazel corpus cyst. आपके examination point of view, when the slide is focused. So in your Viva, still anyone has faced histology Viva examination? First year students, अभी तक हुआ आपके किसी colleges में? No. So when your slide, okay, no, then it will, once your college is open, you will have this examination, and when the examination will be taken, your histological slide will be focused and you have to identify the slide. So how you are going to identify a slide of thymus? You have to search for Hazel corpus cyst. So medulla has got less number of lymphocytes. It is less densely packed. If you compare the density of lymphocyte in the cortex and medulla, so what you will find that the medulla part of the thymus gland is having less dense, presence of lymphocyte, and so it is lighter stain, and it is having Hazel corpus cyst. Now, what is Hazel corpus cyst? It is a acidophilic laminated body. So what is the size? Its approximate size is varying from 30 to 100 millimeters. All of you, please write down, these are the points of Hazel corpus cyst. So this you have to tell in the Viva and in your MCQ session. Okay. It is made of hyaline material. What I told you, it is a hyalinized mass. So it is made of hyaline material, and it is having flattened epithelial cells. So what is the structure which is constituting Hazel corpus cyst? It is made of homogeneous hyalinized material which is pinkish in color, pink homogeneous material which is surrounded by concentric layer of flattened epithelial cells. In the next slide, I will also show you the high power view of Hazel corpus in which you can identify these structures. Now, what it contains? It contains keratin filaments. Please note down this point. What is the structure contained in Hazel corpus cyst? It contains keratin filament. It contains keratin filament. Now, one more thing I told you, that it is a degenerated mass which is found in more number in case of elderly people. So it is also show trace amount of calcification, and it is increased in number in an elderly person. It is more. Acidophilic substance which is lying here. Okay, hyalinized mass with hyaline particles are there, hyalinized particular materials, homogeneous material. So when you will see, it will not be in a heterogeneous mass. Okay, homogeneous means uniform like this. So it will be a uniform pink color, acidophilic in nature. Acidophilic means, what do you mean by the word acidophilic? Pink in color, and made of keratin filaments. Don't get confused with hyaline cartilage. The appearance of pink structure which is lying here is hyalinized mass which is made of keratin filament, pink homogeneous material. So pink homogeneous material is hyaline material which is containing keratin filament. Don't get confused with hyaline cartilage. It is just having, this hyaline material is also having slight calcification. So what is this notes written is all the constituents of hyalinized material. Okay. Pinkish acidophilic substance has given a term hyalinized material. आप उससे confuse मत हो कि इसमें hyaline cartilage है. No hyaline cartilage. It is made of acidophilic structures. हम उसको acidophilic क्यों बोलते हैं? Any structure जब हम HNE stain करते हैं and it appears like pink, तो हम उसको acidophilic structure बोल देते हैं. What term we give it? It is called as acidophilic structure. and it is made of keratin material. It is also having trace amount of calcification, or at the function is not known, but it is a degenerating involuting mass which is found in more number in cases of elderly person. It is found more in number in case of degenerated thymus gland. And it is surrounded by epithelial cells. So see here. Now, can you see the center? This center mass is called as homogeneous. This is having homogeneous substance. What is this homogeneous substance? Acidophilic substance. It is having acidophilic substance. Why it appears pink? Which is consist of keratin filaments and calcifications. And it is also having calcifications. It is also having certain calcification, and you can see certain flat structures are surrounding it. Can you see these structures? Flattened structures are surrounding it. So the structures which is surrounding it is called as epithelial cells. It is called as epithelial cells. So this is the high power view, but in low power view, you can see just a pink mass, just a pink mass. In low power view, you can just see that Hazel corpus is in the form of pink mass, and its exact function is not known, but it is written that it increases with age. That means it is a degenerating kind of material. It is degenerating kind of substance located in the medulla part of thymus gland. So done. Let's move on to the next slide, that is tonsil, and which is very easy. So yeah, so after that I have just summarized, after completing the slide of thymus gland, I have just summarized the important points. It is a central lymphoid structure. Central lymphoid structure produces T lymphocyte. Okay, it is having dual origin, lymphocytes from mesoderm, epithelio-reticular cells from endoderm. Third pharyngeal pouch. Third pharyngeal pouch. So these are the summary. What I have thought today is the summary of the class. Supporting network having cytoplasmic reticulum, which is derived from epithelio-reticular cells. Okay, it is having only T lymphocyte. So please note down, no B lymphocyte. Not a single B lymphocyte is residing in thymus gland. All lymphocytes are which type? T lymphocytes. All lymphocytes are which type? T lymphocyte. Divided into lobes by incomplete interlobular system. All these points which is written in the slide, my dear students, all these points which is written here is already explained. So same thing I have written here in the points. Okay. Everyone, have you understood? Can we move on to the next slide? Okay. Then form and function. Characteristic feature is, if in histology examination you have to write characteristic feature, it is having Hazel corpuscles and it produces thymic hormones, thymopoietin and thymosin. We have already discussed this. I'm not going once more. We have already discussed thymosin and thymopoietin. Fully developed at birth and involved after puberty. Means after puberty, generally after the age of 18, 19 years and 20, 25 years, it start degenerating. So you can say hyalinized mass, degenerating mass is the Hazel corpuscles. Is the Hazel corpuscles. Now function. It is required for immune system. It is required for immune system. If a thymus gland is removed from the baby, then the baby will not survive. Actually, immunological competency and immunity is lost and further leads to infection and death of baby. So it is a central lymphoid structure which is very important for immunity in our body. We can't remove the thymus gland. Okay, the structures are thymopoietin, the structures, the hormones, the polypeptides and the proteins which is secreted is thymoline, thymosin, thymopoietin. These hormones are involved in stimulation and differentiation of T lymphocytes. These hormones are involved in differentiation and proliferation of T lymphocytes, produce T cell or cell mediated immunity. Required for cell mediated immunity. Now, yes, this is the slide. This is the cortex part. This is the medulla part. This is the low power view of the diagram. In your examination, you have to identify thymus slide by seeing the low power view. In the center, you can see these are Hazel corpuscles. So these are what? These are Hazel corpuscles. So next slide is tonsil. Tonsil is very easy. So it will take another 10 minutes and we will finish tonsil. So everyone, just 10 minutes more, we can finish the tonsil. Okay. So many students has got exhausted, but those who are still there, so we can just finish 10 minutes. Tonsil is a very easy slide. So yes, it's a almond shape. Can you see here? This is the palatine tonsil, which is lying in the oropharynx. Where it lies? It lies in the oropharynx. It is lying in the lateral aspect of oropharynx and it is covered by connective tissue. It is bounded by two arches. One is palatoglossus and palatopharyngeus arches. So two arches there. So head and neck series has been not started. Otherwise, it would have become very easy. Actually, the location of palatine tonsil is in the tonsillar fossa. Tonsillar fossa. Tonsillar fossa is having anterior wall which is formed by palatoglossal arch. Okay, it is formed by palatoglossal arch anteriorly and palatopharyngeal arch posteriorly. Palatoglossal arch is lying anteriorly, palatopharyngeal arch is lying posteriorly. Palatoglossal arch is containing palatoglossus muscle. It is a muscle of tongue. Palatopharyngeus arch is containing palatopharyngeus muscle. It's a muscle of pharynx. It's a muscle of pharynx. Palatoglossal arch, palatoglossus muscle, muscle of tongue. Palatopharyngeus arch, palatopharyngeus muscle, muscle of pharynx. Now, it is on the medial aspect, it is having crypts. What do you mean by the word crypts? Means indentation. It is having indentation. Okay, medial aspect, it is having crypts and the lining epithelium. So very important for your examination point of view, the lining epithelium of tonsil. What is the lining epithelium of tonsil? Stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. All of you write down. It is stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. Stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. Stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. Okay. So yes, see here, my dear friends, this is the location of tonsil. This is the tonsil which you are seeing on either side. Here you can see the anterior arch is, this is palatoglossal arch. This is palatoglossal arch and this is posterior arch, that is palatopharyngeus arch. So posterior arch is containing muscle of pharynx, anterior arch is containing muscle of tongue. Muscle of tongue. Now, if you see the histology, can you see here? I told you, what do you mean by the word crypt? Crypt meaning indentation. So it is having indentation here. This indentation is called as tonsillar crypt. Epithelium, you can see stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium, and the tonsil slide will have many lymphatic nodules. So this is lymphatic nodule, this is lymphatic nodule, this is lymphatic nodule, this is lymphatic nodule. So rounded lymphatic nodules will be formed. So it will have mucus gland, it will have lymphatic nodule. And what is the lining epithelium? The lining epithelium is stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. So all these points are histological points for the identification of the slide of palatine tonsil. So again, see the slide of palatine tonsil, full of lymphatic nodule. Okay, lighter in the center because it is germinal center, and this is lymphatic nodule. LN for lymphatic nodule. This is again lymphatic nodule. This is stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium, and this is crypt. So what is this? This is the crypt on the medial aspect, and this lining epithelium is stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. Akash Singh, yes dear, yes, tell me dear. Akash? Yes, Akash? Okay, understood? Akash, are you understanding? Everyone, very easy slide होता है palatine tonsil का. Few points होता है. Lining epithelium, stratified squamous epithelium होता है. Okay, in this it is having a crypt. It is having a germinal center, which is having a lymphatic nodule, which center is germinal center. So a slide of tonsil will have many lymphatic nodule aggregation. So yes. So when you will see the slide of tonsil nodule, yes, if I have to summarize the identifying points for the tonsil slide, what we will say? Epithelium. The first point will be epithelium. So what is the epithelium, dear? It is stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. So non-keratinized epithelium. This is the first point. What is the second point? Lymphatic nodules. Second point is lymphatic nodules. What is the third point? It is also having crypts on the medial aspect. Crypts on the medial aspect. Yes, Akash Singh. So have you understood, anyone? So today's topic which we have completed today is the slide of tonsil. T lymphocyte. So actually, B lymphocyte, that is a mode of, both are MAM forms, both MAM form. No. T, in case of thymus gland, it is only required for cell-mediated immunity, not humoral immunity. Okay, humoral immunity is plasma cells and all which is providing. So T lymphocyte is only present in the thymus gland. Okay, for actually every. Okay, location of the palatine tonsil. Okay, so that is only required for cell-mediated immunity, thymus gland. It is a primary lymphatic structure, not secondary, and it is only having a crypts. Kya hota hai? Depression. Okay, I will tell you. Okay, you want the location slide. Okay, so see here. So yes, Dev, once more I will tell you location. You want to understand location once more. This is palatine tonsil. So palatine tonsil, when you open your mouth, in the posterior aspect of the tongue on the either side, here is tonsillar fossa. So there is two fold. One is this and the other fold is this. Okay, there are two folds. The posterior fold is formed by palatopharyngeus arch. What does it contains? Palatopharyngeus muscle. The anterior fold is called as palatoglossal arch. Palatoglossal arch. Okay, palatoglossal arch means, what does this means? Palatoglossal arch. So see here, this is palatoglossal arch. Palatoglossal arch. So when you will see in the tongue, there is a depression on the oropharynx on either side. जब आप tongue देखेंगे, जब आप open करेंगे अपना mouth, you can see the tonsil also on the lateral aspect. So it is in between two fold. Anterior fold is containing a muscle of tongue that is called palatoglossal arch, and posterior fold is containing a muscle that is called as palatopharyngeus muscle. Palatopharyngeus muscle is the muscle of pharynx, and palatoglossal muscle is the muscle of tonsil. Ma'am, what is tonsil? Tonsil is a lymphoid organ. Tonsil is a lymphoid organ which is having which is required for immunity. Tonsil. And ma'am, crypts kya hota hai? For example, tonsil is almond shaped structure. Okay, so for example, this is tonsil, T for tonsil. So when you will see tonsil here, so what you can see that this is lateral aspect and this is medial aspect. So medial aspect will have a depression like this. Okay, for example, okay, Shivank, yes, tonsil only. Shivank, yes, tonsil. See here, tonsil is almond shaped structure. So when you see the medial aspect of tonsil like this, so this is lateral aspect of tonsil, this is medial aspect of tonsil. Shivank, you were asking for tonsil. Where is Shivank? Yeah, ma'am, for, okay, see here, this is tonsil. So see here, in the medial aspect, the tonsil is having depressions. As you can see here, this depressed structure is called as crypts, means indentation. Okay, when you see the tonsil from medial aspect, it will have depression which is going inside. Means on the medial aspect, tonsil is not just a round structure, but medially it is having some depressions. Okay, this is the shape of tonsil. So in the medial aspect, this structure which indentation is lying, that is called as crypt. Yes, tonsil is containing both B and T lymphocyte. Tonsil is containing both B and T lymphocytes. So have you understood crypts? Okay, have you understood crypts? आकाश सिंह क्रिप्स क्या होता है? क्रिप्स आर डिप्रेशन डियर. आकाश सिंह, बट मैम काइंडली, क्रिप्स आर डिप्रेशन और इंडेंटेशन विच इज फाउंड ऑन द मीडियल एस्पेक्ट ऑफ टॉन्सिल. आकाश, फोल्डिंग नहीं, इंडेंटेशन. इंडेंटेशन, डीप डीप कैविटी, पिट या डीप कैविटी. यस, पिट. इंडेंटेशन का मतलब हुआ पिट. गॉट इट? पिट. यस, गॉट इट. पिट. इंडेंटेशन मतलब ग्रूव. अदर वर्ड्स में क्या बोलेंगे? ग्रूव. गॉट इट? So we will meet tomorrow. Actually, I have to start now 7:30. So we will meet tomorrow. Tomorrow, lower limb I'm starting 7:30 p.m. for the class of my NEET PG. The 6 p.m. session tomorrow, I am starting with the. So I have to just start my session on YouTube. So we will meet tomorrow. All the best. Keep studying. Thank you so much. Okay, all the best, students. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, dear. Yes, we will meet tomorrow exactly. Ma'am, we will also take osteo portion. We'll try. If you all want, I will take osteo also. If you want, I will take osteo also. But last time I took osteo, less students were coming. So if more students are interested, then only I will plan. Okay? If more of the students are interested for osteo session, then only I will plan, because it means too much of time involved. So if more of you are interested, let me know. So all of you can. Thank you, dear. Thank you. So thank you. Tomorrow evening 6 p.m. exactly 6 p.m. conceptual anatomy 6 p.m. FMG session 9 p.m. Okay, YouTube session 7:30 p.m. So all these things are there on my Telegram group Mona Lisa Anatomy. So you can join my Telegram group Mona Lisa Anatomy. So update, you can follow me on the Unacademy. All the students who are new to the platform, they can follow me on Unacademy platform. So you will get updates of my class. Mona Lisa Anatomy is my Telegram group. So this is my Telegram group, Mona Lisa Anatomy. You can join this group for the updates of all my sessions. Okay, you can ask your anatomy related doubt there also. Thank you so much. So can I end the session? I have to start another session. We'll meet tomorrow. Everything will be fine, Akash Singh. Okay, thank you.